Hello and welcome everybody, it's Philip here. First and foremost, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you all for choosing to study with myself at the Shaw Academy. So a big hello to all of my current students, and I suppose a big hello to anybody who was just watching this video, being a little bit of an investigator in case you wanted to take Photoshop in the future. Now today I am going to be dealing with masks, and we're going to be looking at a few quick tips to really help you get the most out of your masks yourself. Now, I like Photoshop to do the talking for me, so why don't we open up Photoshop straight away? So I have two images in front of me here. Okay, one is a nice paper texture, and the other is just a generalized image. Okay, a nice starry night sky. It's a lovely photograph on its own. Both of these are free images which I have downloaded from Pixabay, which I always recommend to my own students to help them out, especially for the non-photographers, the more designers, the enthusiasts who just have a passion for Photoshop but aren't equipped with the latest technology. Now, one of the most important things obviously are layers, and I did deal with layers in one of our lessons. For anyone who has missed it or needs to catch up, obviously make sure you get onto the recordings. But obviously to deal with masking, we would like to have both of these layers in the same location. So what I'm going to do is a very quick and very simple way for moving our layers back and forth for anyone who needs that extra kind of way of just speeding up their workflow. Now, it's a very basic way of doing it, and I'd say a lot of you already understand the idea of copying and pasting. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Select tab up here. Always feel free to use your shortcuts, so Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac. I'm going to select all. If I was to press Control C, this would copy it. Okay, I can also go to Edit and Copy. And then of course the next step, once we've copied it, is to go to Edit and Paste. Control V. Once again, if you like to use your shortcuts, that's Control or Command on a Macintosh. So I've now pasted my texture in on top, and we do have two layers. Now, obviously, today we're going to be looking at our masking. So what I want to do, first of all, is add a mask onto this image. To do so, all I have to use is the mask icon down the very bottom here of our layers panel. Now, by doing so, this will automatically make a white mask for us. And what I always like to really say a lot to get the point across when dealing with our masks, obviously we need to paint in how we want to use them. But the main focus for all of my students, starting off with masks especially, is that white is to reveal and black is to conceal. So there's different ways that we can kind of start our masks off with. With our white mask, if I was to get our paintbrush here, make sure we're on a black colour. Okay, I have my brush on a nice soft brush. When I come in here, I can literally start to paint in the night sky. Okay, allowing everything that's below to be seen. So let's undo that. Okay, now, what if I wanted to do it the opposite way around? As I said, white is to reveal and black is to conceal. So we can invert this mask to start off as a full black mask instead. To do so, we can use the shortcut, which is Control I, or we can come up to our image, our adjustments, and we can do an invert. And then all I have to do is make sure I'm on my brush tool, swap my color picker around to white, and instead I can now paint in the difference instead. Okay, so this once again, folks, depends on what way you want to work. Some of your images you might want to use the actual black. Sometimes you might want to use the white. But do remember that white is to reveal and black is to conceal. So let's remove this mask and delete it. Now, instead of actually worrying about, the invert and knowing all those quick shortcuts, just in case you don't like to use the shortcuts as much as I would, when you're actually adding your mask on, another way of starting with a black mask, which will obviously conceal everything, is if you actually hold down the Alt key and click, so that's Alt or Option if you're on a Mac, it will start the mask off as a full black mask instead of white. Meaning that once again I can come in with my brush tool and allow all of this detail to be seen. Let's undo that again. And if at any times, folks, you can just use the shortcut Control I to flip around at any time. If you want to very quickly rotate your color picker instead of coming over to your toolbar every time, you can press X on your keyboard and this will also flip everything around for you. So we're dealing with white and we're dealing with black at all times here, okay? And that's what I'm talking about, where our white is to reveal and our black is to conceal. But what happens if we think about the other shades in between? So if white will fully reveal and black will fully conceal our image, what happens if we use darker or lighter shades of grey? So let's come into our color picker here and we'll choose a dark grey. And for our black, I will change this to a lighter grey. As you might expect, with our dark grey on our white mask here, I can come in and I can start painting. This will actually allow me, okay, I'm going to up the size of my brush. This will actually allow me to have a kind of opacity side to it. So there's still the detail, if you can see, of the actual paper texture on top of this image. Because I'm not completely revealing and I'm not completely concealing. Swap our colours around to our light grey. And what I can do is I can do the same. I can come around here and I can start to lighten the texture with a bit of opacity. But it never fully actually removes the image. It never conceals, it never reveals, because we're using very similar technique to what the opacity is here. So folks, that is the ultimate kind of tip that I wanted to give you from this actual little lesson, is that obviously if we think about white as revealing and black as concealing, that our shades in between will allow us to do a bit of both at any time. So really folks, it's about how you use it yourself to get whatever kind of artistic feel that you would like. So thanks very much for watching today's lesson. Obviously, I would like you to practice on your own images, folks, because practice is going to make you perfect. It's obviously what's going to be needed to make the best of your images, okay? But do keep in fact that obviously our white, okay, will completely reveal the image, so we're revealing our layer of our paper texture. Our black will completely conceal, so it will hide, it will mask it. And if we start to use different tones of grey, we can do an in-between where we can kind of have a nice texture effect. Okay, thank you very much folks, and thank you for watching today's bonus lesson. I look forward to seeing you all in our next lesson.